Hi there, it's time to look at near through the Wyckoff lens again. If you're new to my sessions, here are the 3 key items that I'll cover during the session. So let's start with the weekly chart of near. So last week we talked about that the accumulation is continuing for near, and that further tests will happen. It's higher chance that we'll have more tests, and indeed it's continuing with the trend. We are hoping to see a sign of strength, meaning a test to the upside to around $3.25. All right, that's what we hope to see. This level has been tested at least 3 times after the automatic rally back in May. So in July, September, and just the beginning of this month. However, we all know how the macro environment is like, and that's why the rejection happened last week as well as this week. And at this moment, we are at a level around the red key level of 1.83. Okay, so the backdrop of this is near within the bigger picture is still within the accumulation cycle, and it hasn't come up to test this resistance yet, or the top line of the range, the current horizontal range that started back in April-May time. So let's get to the daily and see what additional information we get. Last week we have drawn this downward channel box, or the mini air hockey table. So the price continues to bounce between the boundaries. As of now, both yesterday, the day before, as well as today, there seems to be quite a bit of support around the red key level of 1.8, around $1.8. Let me scroll, yeah, 1.83. However, if we look at the volume, that day on November 20th, it wasn't too bad. The volume isn't that high, but November 21st was like 40% higher than the 20th, so that's a bit worrying, because when it drops to this level, combined with the volume, instead of declining volume, it's telling us that it may be able to drop a little further. So today and yesterday the decline of volume may only be the effect of weekend, okay? And this week today, trying to go up and got pushed down towards the red key level is another sign. Combining these, a spring may happen in the daily time frame that goes lower than the red key level. The previous test this year did not reach that level. However, if we go further down, back to 2023, as well as end of 2022, this range, the bottom edge of the long-term playground zone, as well as the right line, this range was tested during those period. And also, don't forget about the October 10th event. October 10th dipped to this level, so it's completely possible that the spring may get to happen below the red key level. Alright, even though I'm saying having this time to update, because it's also not aligning to here, because we're saying 75% for more tests. That includes the spring happening. So I can put 75% here to align with what's up there, but to show you what can actually happen, I'll leave 10% to this part, okay? Even though we see some intermediate or short-term support showing up, this pushing down as well as this high volume day doesn't feel very comfortable to me. It looks like it's going to try to break the red key level. However, on the positive side, if we look at this triangle, it's pointing towards Thursday, coming Thursday. So anytime from now to Thursday, there is a chance for NIR to break outside of this downward channel. Not that it's time for celebration or what, but at least it's the first step towards the momentum upwards to show another sign of strength. Okay, this may not be the immediate stage, so another sign of strength would happen, and then subsequently there may be a platform period, another horizontal trading period before it goes to the distribution cycle. Alright, so this downtrend, let's see in the next few days whether it will be broken. Just to let you know, because we've got very limited reference points for this channel box, it can happen in a way like this. So the actual breakout may be, 1 or 2 days back. Even though it goes higher, based on the original, there is a slim chance that it may take a day or two to confirm, because these points aren't solid enough to tell us this is exactly the case. The likelihood is that by next weekend, from now to next weekend, there is a chance for a breakout. But like I said, we have to see what the next 3 days moves are, provided the volume and the candlestick that looks it's still trying to head south. Okay, so let's get back to the weekly and see whether I missed anything. I think that's pretty much it for NIR. We have gone through the hibernation period during 2002 and 2003. This time, whatever is happening in 2025 shouldn't be too alarming if you have been in crypto for a while. So I understand if you're new and you got in during the peak during 2024 or maybe even earlier this year. For those of us that's been through the previous cycles, this is just the time that we have to get through. And if the project continues to stay healthy with solid deliverables, it will eventually get back to a fair price that the underlying coin that supports the network is going to be traded. Okay, so while this is a low period, the fair